I grew up being a really big fan of Casper the Friendly Ghost, and I'm still a big fan of Casper, but I haven't seen that many of the earlier Casper cartoons, so I decided now was as good a time as any to check out The Friendly Ghost, which is the very first cartoon with Casper. It's a famous studios cartoon from 1945. It was released as part of their Noveltooons series, and it introduces Casper, and we get to see all of these other ghosts scaring people and haunting. And Casper, we realise, doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to haunt. And a lot of this is told through narration. Now, I don't know who the narrator is because they're not credited on Wikipedia. If anybody knows who narrates this, please do let me know. Oh, no, I lie, it's Frank Gallop. It's in a different location to where I was looking. It's narrated by Frank Gallop. And there's nothing wrong with Frank Gallop's voice. In fact, he's crisp and clear and easy to understand. But I just would have preferred it without the narration. And Casper does speak. Casper is voiced by Cecil Roy. So we don't necessarily need the narrator because Casper tells us what's happening. And whenever the narrator spoke, as I said, Frank Gallop's voice is perfectly fine. But I felt it was jarring and it kind of pulled me out of the narrative. But it wasn't so much of a problem that I disliked the cartoon. We learn that Casper doesn't want to scare people. He doesn't want to be a scary ghost. And obviously, despite this, a lot of people are scared of him because he is a ghost. But then Casper begins to spend time with two little children called Johnny and Bonnie. Johnny is voiced by the brilliant Mae Questel, and Bonnie is voiced by Cecil Roy. And these children want to play with Casper, and Casper is kind of seen as a person, as the boy he wants to be seen as, rather than a ghost, and they kind of accept him for who he is and don't judge him based on his appearance, which is obviously one of the main messages in most Casper cartoons, is that he may look like a scary ghost on the outside, but when you take the time to get to know him, you realise that he is a very friendly ghost. The adults in this are very unaccepting of Casper, and I think it's a really good commentary on the fact that children with fewer prejudices are often more willing to accept people who are different, or who look different, or who act different, which is, often the case in life. Adults are the ones who tend to either look down on or stay away from people who are different to them. Children don't necessarily have that outlook, which is obviously a really great thing. Sometimes can be dangerous, but usually it's a really beneficial thing, and that's what we see with Casper, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I won't say how it ends, but genuinely I had a little tear in my eye. It was so beautiful. The style of animation I didn't love. I feel like it used a lot of kind of rusty colours, a lot of browns and deep oranges, and it just visually wasn't that appealing. Not that I was wanting pastel colours and, hot pink or anything, but I always feel like a cartoon that just uses earthy tones is not as visually as appealing as ones that use a greater variety, maybe a slightly more diverse palette. Certainly, though, credit to the ghosts, especially Casper, of course. I think the way he is designed to appear kind of translucent is very effective. Really effectively done, and I really enjoyed it. So, really looking forward to watching the rest of the Casper cartoons. I'm pleased to say I've now seen his inaugural appearance. Definitely watch it if you're a fan of Casper the Friendly Ghost. I think it's rather sweet and definitely worth watching.